Alright, people. I've been down here half the dang day already working on this thing. We're gonna get to where we can see if this thing's gonna crank up. But I did get the transmission cooler and all ran. The lines and all run for it. There's the cooler. It kind of sit a little bit crooked, I think, but it'll be okay as long as it don't fall and go nowhere. Braided lines. Let me get this light. Ignore the mess. I've been at it. But anyhow, as you can see, I'm kind of a stickler when it comes to keeping everything clean and out of the way. You can see it's got a torque motor in it. And there's the lines going in. It all comes as a kit. Yep, I can get up in there. Quit bumping my phone. But anyhow, there it is. But I did realize that I had to make a change. I had to pull the transmission back out after I done put it in one time because the converter seemed like it wasn't going up far enough to get in the shim up inside there, the pilot shim, if you can see it up in there. It wasn't getting in there far enough to where it was going into the crank. And couldn't figure out what was going on, but I was told that I needed to leave the shim plate on it. Well, I had to take the shim plate off. I just hope it'll crank up. And we're gonna find out. I mean, as you can tell, it's off, but that was easier to tighten the torque converter bolts up and everything as well. Get the light back up in there. But anyhow, it had to come off, I think. We'll see what it does here in a minute. But as far as going in, man, that was about as simple as a factory install, if you ask me. I guess I was wise in not beating that floorboard back out because I think I needed it to allow the linkage to clear. I guess it was a good idea that I didn't knock that back out. But anyhow, well, if it's a mess up, y'all gonna see it. I done put about 2 gallons of transmission fluid in it. So we're gonna see if this booger is gonna crank up or not. Hopefully this starter and ain't nothing out of line and whacked up. Now let's see what happens. Well, y'all can tell it's been a work in progress. They get them brakes split today too. I keep losing brake fluid because I got to cap off the clutch side of the master cylinder. I'm gonna quit pumping that fluid out. And I imagine it's gonna spray some out when I pump the clutch to try to crank it. I ain't gotta pump it. Let's see what this does. But I will say it's something else. Let me get my light. There's a clutch switch, the bottom clutch switch, down on the bottom of the pedal down there on the floorboard. You take that pedal switch down there for the clutch and run it up here to your neutral safety switch on the bottom of your shift in the park position of the shifter, and it'll compensate for doing well. You ain't gotta. There, we got power. Let's see what crank. Uh-oh. seconds and letting it sit there and run. Check the shifter. Going into park, it seems. You can pull it all the way back. There's third. Push it straight up into first, second, third. And now set that up for the training brake. Well, at least we know. Let me try this again. Make sure it ain't just a fluke. At least it's back. At least I didn't mess up. See what it look like underneath here now. Do I got any transmission leak? I ain't gonna let it sit there and run. I had to pull the parachute off. You see it hanging right there. Otherwise it'll hit my airline. I usually pull it in instead of bag it in. But it is what it is. Alright, let's go see if we have any kind of leaks. If I can figure out where I put my light at. There it is. I don't see nothing on the floor. That's a good thing. Alright, let's see what we got. Ain't no leaking on the fittings. Like I said, there's 2 gallons of fluid in there. Get that wire back out of the way. Huh? I don't see the fittings leaking. Well, hey, we might be good to go. Get the drive shaft put in this thing and should be back in business after I get a tune for it. Alright. Well, I guess that's that. Install was pretty daggone simple. But like I said, I was told that on the 2018 car, being that the starters are made different, even on the Gen 3 block, that you got to get up in there and you got to change the starter to from 11 to 17 model, because the 18 starters are different for the Ultra Bell housing. Now, I'm not going to say that that's in stone, but that is what I was told. But I did not have that to worry about because it is a 15 model car. But the next thing I'm going to do is going to be to put the mid pipes back on. And I have got a set of, let me figure out where they at. I probably left them up inside the back of the car. I think I did. But anyhow, I got a set of crankcase evac valves to go on the mid pipes. And I'm going to run a crankcase evac kit where I don't have to worry about draining the catch can every time I turn around, because as all y'all know, with boost you're going to have blow by. You're going to get stuff in the catch can, that old nasty stuff. But as long as you can get it in the exhaust, it's going to burn it before it ever gets out. So, it is what it is. But that's that part of it. I guess when I get the drive shaft and I get down here and I get the crankcase evac kit installed, I'll let y'all see how that goes. But, like I said, it's got a JPC cross member. It's got a JPC shifter plate. It's a FTI turbo 400 with brake. It is not a pro brake. It is a regular brake. Transmission rated for 1200 horsepower. It's got a 9-inch 9.5 converter. It's a 48 to 5,000 stall. Is it big? Well, yeah, it's a pretty good size converter, but that's what they recommended with this car. Hopefully I can get this thing down to about 3,500 pounds, 34 something, without me in it. But I still got to come back here and I still got to get rid of the fuel lines and the charcoal canister and all that stuff. All right, well, there it is, folks. She's back running. Now we can just get a drive shaft in her. All right, well, God bless y'all. Have a good day.